Okay? So in 1789, with the signing and the completion of the Bill of Rights and the Constitution, you had a security instrument for which the debt of the United States was now attached to. Okay? That debt, we basically went into what's known as an international bankruptcy at that point. Since we didn't pay the debt, the national government lost its sovereignty. So the term for an international bankruptcy is 70 years. Okay? So 70 years after 1789, we get into the year 1859. Does anyone know what happened in 1859?
Civil War.
Civil War. Okay, the reason for the Civil War, the real reason. Okay, slavery was already on its way out. For those of you who know and know international treaty and what was going on around the world at the time, it had already been outlawed internationally. So basically, America was in the process of following suit. But it was, at the end of the bankruptcy, the debt is due. Okay? And the states signed on as sureties on the Constitution saying they would pay the debt. Okay? So King of England, through his bankers and Rothschild's Bank of France, basically said, okay, debt's due. You states said you'd be surety. We want our money. And the southern states, or the northern states, went to the southern states and said, basically, you guys have all the money. You have all the gold. You have all the cotton. You have all the resources. You have all the wealth. The material wealth of our nation was pretty much wrapped up in the South. And the South said, yeah, no, we're not going to pay the debt. We're going to start our own country. And because of their dishonor with the international bankers, it was now up to the North it was the will of the creditors to get the debt paid or to take sureties for the debt. So basically, we fight a war, end of the war. What gets resolved is now the states have lost their sovereignty because the states refusing to pay their debt to the creditors started another 70-year process, another bankruptcy. Okay, we didn't pay our old bankruptcy, so now we're going into another bankruptcy, except this time they're going to take away something else. The first bankruptcy, they took away the nation's sovereignty. They took that away because of how? Because the national government no longer could control its property. Whoever holds legal title controls the property. Okay, but now the states were in dishonor. So the international creditors were now taking control of the state's property. Okay? So the states no longer have their sovereignty because they don't control their property. That's the only thing that distinguishes a sovereign from someone who is not a sovereign. If you're a debtor, you're not sovereign. Creditor controls. Okay?